Hello students, this video lecture is an initiative taken by Shet Vidya Mandir Junior College of Commerce and Science. Lecture is for 12th standard commerce students and this is the second part of chapter number 9 Depository System. In this video we will see the benefits and advantages of depository system to investors for investors and companies. Students, before moving further, I would like to advise you that under depository system, securities are held in electronic form and the transfer and settlement of securities are done electronically. The depository system maintains accounts of the shareholder like bankers maintain account account of the account holders. Through this depository account, they can buy and sell, that is, transfer their securities. Now, let us see how it is an advantage point for an investors. Our first advantage is elimination of risk. All risk associated with these physical certificates like delays, lost, theft, mutilation, bad deliveries, etc. are totally eliminated. Students, as the securities will be maintained electronically, the risk of all the risk which is associated with the physical documents, especially which are risk for the investors to maintain, are eliminated because of the electronic system or depository system. Safety. It is the most safe and secure way of holding securities. The entire system functions under Depository Act and is monitored by SEBI. Example, the investors can keep his account in a freeze or lock mode to avoid or prevent unexpected debit or credit, or both by giving the instructions to the depository participant. Students, in electronic mode, the systems are strictly monitored and supervised by the SEBI and the companies too. So here it becomes very safe for the investors to maintain their securities under depository system account, that too electronically. Our third point is, or third advantage is, easy transfer of shares. Transfer of shares means selling of shares. A. Efforts in filling sorry huh, efforts in filling transfer forms and lodging the documents is eliminated. That means there is no need to fill the form like transfer form. Whenever earlier, sorry, not whenever, earlier before 1996, if a shareholder wants to sell his share, then he has to go through a long procedure. He has to sign up and fill the transfer forms, take the sign of the transferor and then the sign of the transferee, and submit the share certificate, surrender the share certificate, and submit the transfer form at the company's registered office. And that used to take a lot of time. But as the shares now are maintained, the securities are maintained in depository system in electronic mode, so efforts in filling transfer forms and lodging the documents is eliminated. Also, the stamp duty charge on transfer of physical shares is not applicable. Processing time in transfer of securities is reduced and neither the securities nor the cash is held for unnecessary long time. Earlier it used to take long time, it used to take time to get it sanctioned by the boards. The physical document, it has to be presented by in the front of board of directors, and then the board passes a resolution, and that used to take a long time. But after 1996, when depository system was introduced, these all long procedures are eliminated. Updates and intimation. The investor is provided with the status of the holdings and transactions by depository participant, and occasionally by the depository too. As you receive a banker's message, you have seen many of time in your parents' mobile phones that the bankers, they update about the latest schemes and even about the transactions, and many more bank details updates via messages or emails. In the same manner, the depository participant or and the depository, they update and intimate the investors about the holdings of their securities and the transactions. Our fifth advantage is security against loan. Dematerialized securities are preferred by banks and financial institutions as security against loan. Now you can get loan by mortgaging your securities like equities or preference or debentures. That is your investment. That if you have a depository system, you have maintained your securities in a depository system, you can get a loan by keeping your investment of securities against the loan amount, and you can get the money easily as you keep your assets mortgage and get the loan amount and get your loan. Likewise, even you can keep your shares or securities and get a loan against the securities. Sixth advantage is no concept of lots. The system of odd and even lots stands abolished. The market lot is one share for dematerialized securities. Students, in the stock market, lot size refers to the number of shares you buy in one transaction. But now, after the introduction of depository system, lot stands are abolished. Nomination facility. Individual investors can avail of nomination facility. This simplifies the process in the event of death of the investor, and that is transmission of share. Eighth advantage, automatic credit. The account of investors is automatically credit or debited in case of change initiated by the company which impacts the securities. This is called corporate example. Sorry, this is called corporate action. For example, which can be termed as corporate actions are payment of dividend, issue of bonus shares, offering of right shares, early redemption of debentures, mergers and acquisition, etc. These are the example of corporate action. That means actions which are taken by company in which you have invested through shares. So, if there is any change due to their such action, if there is any change in the holdings of your shares due to their action, automatically your account will be credited or debited. Account means demat account. Now, let us see the advantages to the companies. Up to date information. The up to date information about investors is provided by the depository system. Reduction in cost and efforts. Cost, efforts, and times are involved in printing and distribution of certificates. In cases of new issues, bonus transfers, etc., is saved. Students, whenever the transfer of shares takes place, the company has to print new certificates for the new owner. But now this all transfer and transmission transactions are done electronically, so there is a reduction in costs for creating the new documents, and even the distribution expenses are eliminated. International investment. Under depository system, better and quick services can be provided, and this attracts investments from abroad. You can take the example of ADR and GDR, that is the depository receipts. Students, if the things are performed electronically, transactions performed electronically, it can be performed beyond the national boundaries of the country, and the companies can grab the opportunities and expand the company's market or to share trading beyond the national boundaries just because of the electronic system and depository system. Better investor company better investor company relationship. The complaints arising out of loss of certificates, signature differences, long lapses of times in executing requests, etc., is substantially reduced. They are not completely eliminated, but they are reduced to a much extent. It leads to better communication with the investors and increase the goodwill for the company. Thank you.